All right, for all you folks that were signing up for classes today, what you missed is applying SOHCAHTOA, which means sine, cosine, tangent, but in word problem format. So I got to teach you two things today. Very simplistic. We're going to be drawing the pictures of right triangles based on some information given in word problems, which we'll go over an example in a second. But here's what you need to know. Angle of elevation, angle of depression. What are they? Well, elevation, we know is going upwards. So when we talk about what an angle of elevation is, what it is, it's an angle created by a horizontal path, horizontal, and a path upwards. That's an angle of elevation. Now, angle of depression, well, depress means to go down. Okay. So an angle of depression is created by a horizontal line again, and now the path down. So that would be an angle of depression. Now we'll get into something, remember the Z from first semester, alternate interior angles. We'll talk about that in a second. But here's what we're going to do today. We're going to use this terminology to create right triangles. Right? We're going to create right triangles. Now we're either going to deal with the angle of elevation or the angle of depression. Now note, this is huge. This is not the angle of depression in a triangle. People think it is, and it makes sense because you're going down, but an angle of depression is formed by a horizontal and a path down. And this angle is formed by a vertical and a path down. So within this triangle, the angle of depression is actually outside it. You would have to sketch in a horizontal. And this would be your angle of depression. Now, here's the big key. The angle of depression and angle of elevation are the exact same thing. Remember back in the day, we had a Z, alternate interior angles were congruent. Well, there's your angle of depression, angle of elevation, they form a Z, so those are actually the same thing. So if I'm looking up at the moon, and my angle of elevation to the moon is 17 degrees, and Yoda's up on our moon, and he's looking down at me, his angle of depression is 17 degrees also. So that's the big thing. Understand these are the exact same thing. If you're looking up at an angle, it's the same as looking down at an angle. Okay. Here's our problem. Caleb is standing on top of Sugarloaf Mountain, which has an elevation of 437 feet. Not sure if that's true. He spots a boat out on the lake. The angle of depression to the boat is 28 degrees. How far is the boat from the base of Sugarloaf? So what we need to do is we need to take this and model it with a right triangle. Okay. So here's what we have. I recommend strongly labeling the sides. There's our mountain, Sugarloaf. Okay. The lake is at the bottom of Sugarloaf. Lake, right angle. Okay. Now, according to our problem, our friend Caleb, he's way up top here. I'll put a K there for Caleb. Okay. And he's standing on top. Here's we look at the numbers. The first number we see, 437, that's our elevation or height. So we can put a 437 there. The 28 is our next number. It refers to the angle of elevation. Now again, I think what a lot of people do if they make the mistake, they're going to go, okay, 28's here. But remember, that's not an angle of elevation. I'm sorry, that's not an angle of depression. The angle of depression is outside. Horizontal path down. 28 goes. Now what I recommend doing is this. I recommend you can actually just change the wording. The angle of depression to the boat is 28, which means that if we reverse that statement, the the angle of the elevation from our boat, and shame on me for not drawing a nice boat, but the angle of elevation up to Caleb is 28. So if you draw a right triangle, no matter what they give you, angle of elevation or depression, that number can go in the bottom. We can convert that. The angle down is the same as the angle up. So therefore I can kind of eliminate that. So our angle of elevation or depression will always go down in the lower acute angle. And then we just need to put an X. How far is the boat from Sugarloaf? So we're trying to find this side. And from there we can use sine, cosine, or tangent to help you out. So that's what you missed today if you're signing up for courses. Again, the big thing is we're going to draw a right triangle. We're going to put numbers in where we need to. And typically, that angle of elevation or depression, they're interchangeable because alternate angles are congruent. Goes in the bottom acute angle. Hope this helps you out. Give those problems 1 through 8 a try. We'll see you Friday. Peace.